Yeah, we apologize for the technical glitch. We don't know technology. Sometimes we don't have control over it. Yeah, we have this abrupt interruption, but please join us. Let's share a link quickly. We are waiting on our guests. Shortly we'll be Yeah, Patrick is backstage. We got Perkins backstage. We got Shirley backstage. Now, of course, the voice of the people, Dark Side Porter, I'm here with you to take you for 2 hours ride. Don't go away, guys. It's going to be a fascinating one. We're going to quiz the council. Awesome. Mama, yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, the guests, our special guest, is sitting backstage right now. So please, we beseech you again to share the link for us. This man of knowledge, of wisdom, of moral integrity, or should I say moral rectitude, will be walking us through this program, 2 hours straight for you. You can't miss it.
Hold on down and listen. The biggest online platform is back and we are ready. It's the Voice of Sino in the Diaspora, your one-stop for information, debate, and discovery. Join us every Thursday at 12 o'clock p.m. EST, 4 o'clock p.m. GMT, and 12 midnight in the Philippines, where power, progress, and the people take center stage. The program is with your host, Sapo Esoteric, the mouthpiece of the God, and your bread and co-host, Shirley. They are bringing the heat, the truth, and the talk every single week with spotlight, polls, education, politics, and so much more. Listen and listen very well. The program features deep dives and critical analysis from Patrick Bolu and Perkins. Don't miss out. Catch us live on Facebook and YouTube. Just search Voice of Sino in the Diaspora. The program is every Thursday, and you know why? We bring the conversation to you. Voice of Sino in the Diaspora, where your voice matters.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are on the Voices of Sapo in the Diaspora, where your voice matter, okay? We are happy this afternoon. We are suffused with elation to have one of the prominent sons of Liberia, Councillor Tiawan Gongloe, to be our special guest. I'm your host, Dark Saye Esoteric, coming to you live from the state of Maryland, these United States of America. Without further ado, I'd like to bring the co-host, Shirley, who is joining us from the state of 10,000 lakes, that's Minnesota. Shirley.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing super califragilistic I'm happy to have the great man with us this afternoon.
Yes, me too. I'm excited to have the counselor here with us. It is an honor to have him on this show. We're looking forward to I will say first, my expectation is to learn a lot from him today, and to also have our.
All right, Shirley. Before you go into the introductory comments, let me bring the other guys on, and then we'll launch into that. So, coming from the state of North Dakota, is the man Perkins. I also call him the political rabbi of Voices of Sapo in the Diaspora. Perkins. Let me see my man. Hey, Perkins, where are you? Let me add a man on the screen here.
Now there. The man videoing is clear.
Hey, Perkins, how are you? Let's test the audio.
Yes, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're sitting low. You want to sit a little bit up?
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Better now?
Yeah, you look good. Okay, so now let me bring the veteran journalist from Liberia, in Liberia, they say for the nation capital. That's Patrick Bolu. Let's bring Patrick, the man that sat with George Weah, the man that sat with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the man that sat with Matthew Zaza, Representative District number 3, Sinoe County, the man that sat with Milton T.A.J., and then I can go down the line. Patrick, welcome to the show, man.
Yes, thank you, Madison, and thanks to my team members who are online tonight, today. And I'm very delighted to share this platform with one of the greatest, lawyers of our time, the greatest thinkers of our time, Councillor Tiawan Saye Gongloe. Thank you.
All right, Patrick, if you have your film, maybe if you want to, yeah. But anyway, you'll be on mute, so that's fine. You can just be on mute, but the sound and the feedback. All right, so Shirley, I want to give you the opportunity to invite the counselor on screen for us.
Oh, wow. There is an honor to invite, but first, go into like the drum roll, but keep that first for let me introduce, inviting him, not introducing him, because I love him to introduce himself. But it is an honor. Like, you truly don't know how much I am so excited to be on the same platform with someone who is a servant leader, someone who.
Shirley, one second. Somebody said no sound. Let me make sure.
Excited to.
No, I think the sound probably is coming from that person. Go ahead. Yeah.
So I will say for me personally, it's an honor to have someone who I get to watch and follow, and to have them on the same platform with me. I am truly excited. I have been looking forward to the Thursday show to just be on the same platform with him. But my expectation today is to learn from him. And I know he is a servant leader, someone who cared about our people and will go above and beyond to make sure that he serves our people with integrity, because he is a man of integrity and a man who listens to the people and want to make sure that Liberia is on the map. Liberia, or people in government, are doing the right thing. He is a servant leader, and I am completely out of words because I've been looking forward to this. But I am honored to introduce a man that his work speaks volume for him, and everything that he does is fixable. So I am honored to have him on here today. So let's get the drum roll. Let's get all the serene. Let's get
you take care of that, Shirley.
All right, I got it. Let me find it. Make sure I get it right. Okay.
Oh, you got the man off the screen, Shirley. He's gonna be back. He's gonna be back.
Oh, I did not get it off.
Yeah, no, it's not you. It's he off. That's what I'm saying. All right, guys, stay tuned. Stay tuned. The guest will be here. The guest will be here shortly. He's gonna be here shortly. But in the meantime, while we are waiting for the counselor to get back on, I'd like to do a quick shout out to DJ Victor Sounds. DJ Victor Sounds celebrated his birthday. Great guy, one of the followers of the show. He calls me. I mean, we talk periodically. Good guy. So, Victor, we want to say happy birthday to you. All right, guys, if you want to do a shout out to Victor, definitely you can go ahead while we wait for the counselor.
I want to say a happiest birthday to Victor. The Victor is watching. Victor is one of the best DJ, not just in Minnesota, but in the Liberian community. He is well known, but I love the fact that Victor is super humble and open to talk to just about anyone. I pray blessings as you celebrate another year. Happiest birthday to you.
And Perkins, go ahead.
Sorry, guys. I'm kind of under the weather for some reason. It got so tense out here in North Dakota, so my voice might be not too clear, but I do my best to be audible. Happy birthday to you, DJ. We'll say many more years to come your way. We wish you the best, and we wish you have a great day today as you celebrate your born day.
You have to go ahead.
Yeah, happy birthday to the Big Master. I want to say, belated happy birthday, and I wish you all the best.
All right. Last but not least, so sis Beatrice Soin. I think she's the prayer warrior or something for the Poor Administration Grand Association in Americas. So also she celebrated her birthday. So sis Beatrice, we want to say happy birthday to you. Many more happy returns. Shirley, go ahead.
Happy birthday to you, beautiful queen. Wishing you many more healthy years to come, and enjoy your birthday.
We want to say happy birthday to you, sister. We wish you the best. We wish you all life has to offer. May you enjoy your day and live long. Happy birthday once again.
I call her the woman of God. Yes, indeed. Very passionate and very prayerful and very good woman she is. I want to say, as you celebrate your birthday today, I wish you many more years and wish you all the best and good health. Happy birthday, my son.
All right, guys, that's all we have for birthday. If you're out there celebrating your birthday, you follow Voices of Sapo. Happy birthday to you. Just a quick reminder. Is it the weekend? I think the inauguration of the president of the United Sapo Association in Americas. That's this man right here, William Manning. It will be this weekend. You will be inaugurated in North Dakota. Perkins will be there. Shirley will be there. Hopefully, the spokesperson of the guy, Dark Saye Esoteric, will be there. But we're still working on modalities. But if I'm not there, I wouldn't miss anything because my whole team will be there and we'll get everything here live to you. Your best speeches ever in the history of mankind will be delivered by Honorable William T. Manning. All right, guys, let's talk about the inauguration a little bit. I mean, what's the spirit? What are you getting? I mean since the departure of, let's see, I don't know what, sharing our screen here. Since Madam Francois Myers left, the vice president is coming on the scene. I mean, come on, let's kind of do a little reflection while we wait for our guests to get back home. Patrick, if you can shoot the honorable, your test too, that would be awesome. Shall I go ahead? What do you make of you will be inaugurated as well yourself?
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to the program this weekend. It's actually starting tomorrow. Tomorrow gonna be the welcome um party welcoming our guests from all over. Interestingly, we have people coming from Liberia, from all over the US. It is going to be a wonderful program, especially knowing that the person that is planning this program, she is the Iron Lady. She is well known for excellence. So I expect nothing less this weekend. I'm expecting a program that's going to be an epic program, something that people going to walk out of there and like, ooh, I was glad that I show up. And looking forward to the president's speech. Like you said, he is a man of few words, but those words come with power. Those words come with conviction. Those words come with um something that you can take away and like understand. Even a common person will understand what he have to say on Saturday. And I am personally looking forward as the youngest on the board, and someone who for the first time in history that I just got elected on the board and also the secretary of the board. So not only am I the youngest, the first person I got elected as the secretary on the board. Usually, according to the board members, they say you have to stay there for at least 3 years or so before they can vote you into any position. But by the grace of God and what the Sapo people see in me as a young person, I am the secretary of the board, and I'm looking forward to, you know, walking down and being honored by my people on Saturday.
Wonderful. Yeah, our guest is back, but let's see whether his video will be activated. He's back on. Guys, just stay with us. Yeah, guys, we're working with the honorable. Let's see. Video will come on again right now. I can bring it on. I mean, I can. Okay, there you go. The video is activated now. Where you was for there was very good background, but it's kind of low. Yeah. If you could face in the light, I mean, I think it's a direction. So the light got to be in front of the honorable. You got to face the other way around, and you get a better view. Yes, but said it is getting situated there. Let's see. Let me bring him on. Anyway, he been waiting backstage for a little bit here.
I think if he turn his camera the other way, the light will be good.
Yeah, so maybe he's not hearing us right now. So I will bring him on and see what I can kind of switch the location of the camera. Yeah. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, for the first time, we want to invite our special guest, Councilor Tiawan Gongloe. Hey, Council.
He's on mute.
Yeah, the audio. Let's activate your audio. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, we are not. There you go. The light is getting better. Yeah, but we are not hearing you though.
We can hear him now because he was on mute.
Okay, excellent. Now yeah, it goes. I don't know from my side or from your side. Sometimes he gets clear, and sometimes it goes dim.
Maybe it's the lights outside. But yeah.
Right. So I don't know what Council. If you turn the other way around or facing. Outside. Yeah, if you can face the window, face the window, you should have a better picture, I think. Okay, let me see something. Yeah, let me put him backstage while he does that. All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, bear with us. Let's see. Let me try again and see. All right, let this. Yeah,
that's better.
We can work with this. We can work with it. Yeah. All right, Council, welcome aboard. My name is Tiawan Saye Gongloe. Yeah, he's still. Let's put him backstage again and see whether he'll be okay. Yeah. All right.
I think
it's better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, it's better.
All right, Council, welcome aboard. My name is Tiawan Saye Gongloe.
Okay,
my other name is Madison.
On your show, I believe this is the first time.
Right.
to be on your show. I'm happy to be there.
You saw Council before
you go. A week ago.
Yeah, Council, before you go ahead with your statement, we have an introduction, official introduction, if you don't mind, so we can read that. Let me do that real quick. So to our viewers, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, Councilor Tiawan Gongloe is a distinguished Liberian lawyer, human rights advocate, and politician whose career spans more than 3 decades of dedicated public service. Born on August 6, 1956 in Deyi, Nima County, he has risen from humble beginnings to become one of Liberia's most respected legal minds and voices for justice. Educated at the University of Liberia, where he earned degrees in economics and law, and further trained in human rights advocacy at Columbia University, Gongloe has built a reputation as a principled defender of the rule of law and the rights of the unprivileged. Over the years, Councilor Gongloe has held several prominent national positions, including Solicitor General of Liberia and Minister of Labor, where he became known for his bold stance on accountability and legal reform. As a former president of the Liberian National Bar Association and managing partner of Gongloe and Associates, he has contributed significantly to the development of Liberian jurisprudence and the promotion of ethical legal practice. His work as a human rights lawyer has seen him defend journalists, civil society actors, and ordinary citizens against unlawful detention and political persecution, cementing his legacy as a fearless advocate for justice. In addition to his legal accomplishments, Councilor Gongloe is an accomplished academic and political leader. He serves as an assistant professor of law at the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law and was the 2023 presidential candidate of the Liberian People's Party. Widely regarded as a champion of integrity, transparency, and people-centered governance, he continues to influence national discourse through his advocacy for accountability, anti-corruption reforms, and inclusive development. His lifelong commitment to justice and service has made him a prominent figure in Liberia's pursuit of democratic governance and social progress. Councilor, I hope I did well with that.
I think you did more than well. It's normally difficult to introduce me, but you did extremely well.
Thank you. So Councilor, at this time, we want to just give you the floor to give us some opening thoughts.
Well, I'm happy to be on this show. What we need to do in Liberia is to keep informing the Liberian people, to keep educating people about what is necessary, our laws, our culture, our history, and who we are, so that we know much about ourselves and what we need to do as a people to move our country forward. We're the first independent republic in Africa, but when you look at countries like Botswana, that gained independence 119 years after our independence, and today is rated as a middle-income country, we cannot help but work hard to change the situation, because that's a sad story. How can Botswana be a middle-income country today and Liberia be among the 15 poorest countries of the world? Simply because of poor governance. We are not poor as a nation. God gave us natural wealth, but we have not developed the appropriate leadership attitude to make that wealth to work for everybody else, for everyone to benefit from the natural wealth. It is only leadership that makes it. And if you see UAE today, 50 years ago, it was a desert country with people riding on camels, but good leadership has transformed it to a country that is the first destination for tourists around the world. I think we have a better natural situation than most countries in the world, and with better leadership, tourism, jobs, by creating factories all over, we make this country better. We say we are a free country and land of liberty by God's command, but if people who live in a constant state of necessity are not free people. They are dependent people. So there's nothing, they are in a sort of bondage. And that is where Liberia is. And President Topper said, we have three enemies: ignorance, poverty, and disease. And he said the worst enemy of Liberia is ignorance, because people engage in corruption because of ignorance, I say. And now these days in Liberia, ignorance is now supported by or strengthened by arrogance. Because if you are ignorant and you don't want to learn, then you are arrogant, insisting that what you know or what you don't know is the right thing. And therefore, you will not listen to people who want to correct you. And that's the problem in Liberia. So right now, what I do, I teach at the two law schools, but I'm a street teacher. Every day I'm in the street. I'm a CEO in Liberia here. I'm at different attire shops. I am making podcasts. I am meeting people in the street. I see a group of people. I talk about Liberia, Liberian history, where we need to go, and all of that. So I'm happy to be part of the conversation because I believe that sharing knowledge will improve Liberia, will change Liberia's story for the better. And every time I appear on a show like this, I hear you saying you will learn from me, but I also learn from people, because based upon the questions you ask, we all learn. And the Liberian people at least get some information that will change our situation for the better, because we want a better Liberia. We cannot have a better Liberia if we don't govern ourselves well. The three branches of government, with those of us who are outside government, helping the government to succeed for our safety and for our common good. Let me stop here and I keep going. For as a teacher and as a lawyer, I can talk endlessly. But
Yes.
All right, Council, thank you. All right, so to initiate the conversation, Shirley, ladies before gentlemen, so let's give you the opportunity. 2 questions for the council and 1 follow-up. Let's shoot.
All right. Well, I first want to welcome you again here on this platform. It is an honor to have you on here. You started your brief introduction with the tour that you took to Southeastern. So there were my first question would come from. So during your Southeastern tour, what stood out to you the most about the reality on ground versus what people are saying?
you know, I give credit
Council,
to
you
the
want to bring your
government.
camera down a little bit? I think your face is
The
off the
what?
camera. Your face is off the
Oh,
camera. There you
Okay,
go.
yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Let me start with the positive. The road to Sinoe, for example, from the Grand Jita side, passing through the Sapo National Forest, has been improved. So you can actually go 40 to 50 miles per hour. Also from the Grand Bassa side has been improved. But what stood out negatively for me is the fact that Greenville, that I visited in 1979, that was a great city with Vampla there, cars moving up and down, houses painted, a great city, a very attractive city, is now like a rundown cardboard city, you know. The same thing with Harper City. Beautiful city when I went there in 1979, even some part of the 80s. These two cities in the Southeast that were attracting a lot of visitors and that were keeping the citizens there with a slowdown of rural urban migration. Everybody in Sinoe wanting to go to Greenville, everybody in Maryland wanting to go to Harper and Cllr. I just terrible places to see in terms of how poor they look. Why is it so? Because the economies of the two areas that were supported, for example, in Sinoe by the Vampla company and Maryland Lipsuko, are not there. There's no job for people. And so I did podcast because every time I criticize, I try to find solution. In Sinoe, I said, look, many countries are no more exporting logs. Sinoe has a big reserve of our remaining forest. You know, we have the largest forest in the Gulf of Guinea. And the forests in Nimba, Bon County have been depleted. So we have the substance remaining. We have to be careful. We have to be frugal. We have to be wise in the way we exploit the forest resources. So I saw rotting logs, and I saw more logs, fresh logs cut and marked. The experience in Liberia I've seen is that a lot of the logging companies come and cut the logs before they go to look for buyers. When they don't find the buyers, these logs get rotten. And the way to avoid that is to stop the exportation of round logs and start processing them, because processing can create jobs. When we have Vampla creating, producing plywood, using them in Liberia, selling them in Liberia, and exporting, there were a lot of jobs in Greenville. And, and it just improved the economy. The same thing in Hapo. Yes.
I want us to get more questions in, please. So if you can keep your answer a little bit brief. So we can get some questions in, please.
I was suggesting that we give incentives to people, to companies, to local and national and international investors to help build factories to add value to our local products. Like Liberia could be a furniture producer and exporter right from Sinoe. And if 2 or 3 factories are put there producing furniture, a lot of Sinoeans in America, in Monrovia, will go back because people like to be home if there are job opportunities. The same thing is that in Hapo, Maryland could be an exporter of sugar again. The vegetation is just good for producing sugarcane, planting sugarcane and producing sugar and exporting sugar out of Maryland. These are opportunities that I saw in the Southeast, but like I said, the Southeast 2 cities are just pathetic to see in terms of how they are run down because there are no economic activities. And I'm suggesting that government could give incentives to people who have the money to invest in these counties to create jobs and to improve government's revenue as well.
Thank you. I'm going to go for my second question. So my second question, as a leader of the Liberian People's Party, what does a progressive agenda truly look like in practical terms?
It is people-oriented. I strongly believe, and it is my party's policy, that government is a place to serve, not to steal. And people are the purpose of the existence of government, to seek their welfare. And everywhere this happens, the countries that I like to always talk about Botswana as my best African country, because Sarisi Kama, first president of Botswana, was not corrupt. He established a legacy of honesty. So they're money from producing animals, meat, they export meat, and from diamond, they have built the best roads. They have invested so much in education. So education is our number one priority. No nation develops without investing in education. When you invest in education, you improve innovative minds. And so that is one of the things that is strong in our agenda. Of course, we have a strong anti-corruption policy. And we say that we will have a situation whereby we will have lifestyle audit every 3 months to check on how people are spending money, because we want to fight corruption and leave no stone unturned. Nobody will enter government without first declaring your asset. If we have a corruption-free government, or a government that is least corrupt, we will have enough resources to provide education, health services, and food production, and road construction, and other things. Like I always say, the richest man in the world does not own an oil well or big company, or a manufacturing, what they call it, a big rubber farm. That's Elon Musk. Education creates innovation, and if we educate our citizens, we spend a lot of money on education, we will be better off, especially, and also backing with rule of law, making sure that people who are corrupt are held accountable.
Thank you.
All right, so Patrick, seeing you are in Liberia, let's get you on. What are your 2 questions for the counselor?
Thank you. And again, it is an honor to share this platform with Councillor Tiawan Saye Gongloe. The last time I interacted with him was about 10 years ago in Greenville, when he went to facilitate a medical Liberia legal section for justice actors in Greenville.
Wow.
Yeah, that was an interview with him, and since then I've kept his number, and I've always follow him. So, Councilor, 10 years ago we met, and today we are back together on the same platform.
Yeah.
I'm honored again to. Yeah. So, my question. Let me start with what you've been known for. I mean, in more than 30 years now, legal representation. So, this issue with Sapo people in the Central Bank of Liberia, it reached its legal conclusion recently with a ruling from the Supreme Court. We don't know what the Supreme Court really means, but please drive us through the whole legal battle. I mean, its nitty-gritty and where we are right now. And yeah, go ahead.
The Sapo ethnic group situation is so unique, and it's confusing. We have Sapo National Park, recognized by government. We have Sapo Language Program, LBS. There's a Sapo governor that the Ministry of Local Government recognizes. But then some agencies of government behave as though Sapo people don't exist as a group. It's based on ignorance, because maps of this area of Africa from the 1800s show Sapo as a group of people. The name Sapo appeared on maps from that period. So the issue became important because the Central Bank of Liberia printed the $1,000 note and excluded and had masks of 16 ethnic groups and excluded Sapo, the Sapo ethnic group. The Sapo people wrote from Grand Jide and Sinoe County, the Central Bank, and the Central Bank did not respond to them. And it came to me, I wrote the Central Bank, and the Central Bank equally treated me with contempt, never even acknowledged receipt of the letter that we wrote on behalf of the Sapo people. So we said, well, let's go to court for the court to declare whether or not the Sapo people exist as a group. The government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Justice, filed a motion to dismiss on 2 grounds. That the Sapo people had no standing. They say, oh, these people don't come from one county, they come from Grand Judah, they come from Sinoe, and there are all kinds of reasons. And then 2, that the issue of a decision to put mask or any symbol on a banknote is a discretionary decision, and the courts cannot deal with political questions. So the judge of the lower court dismissed the Sapo people case on the basis of those 2 arguments. So we went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, all right, it is true that court cannot decide political question, a question that is based on discretion. So, for example, if the central bank wants to use something else that is not, a symbol, that is a decision that is discretionary. It cannot be compelled. But on the question of
Yeah, that was my fear.
I think your internet, right?
Yeah, it's the internet. Yeah. Yeah, so I will kick him out and see whether he can come back in.
Yeah, so if he's hearing us, we can kick him out and then he can come back again.
No, he's not. He's not hearing you.
Okay.
Yeah. So guys, this is what I want to do, right? Because there are a lot of topics, the 3 or 4 things I want to talk about, but I want also zoom in on one topic first, right? Even though I will take responsibility. I should have said that, made it real clear from the beginning, right? Yeah. So I think it's a major thing that he is explaining to us. I want also kind of probe more of the Sapo question, right? Yeah, so we can get. We got a lot of our followers here. They are from Sinoe, and a lot of them are Sapo people. So I think it'll be good. Let's see the council at the back. Council.
So the Supreme Court said yes. The lower court, or even the Supreme Court cannot decide the issue of discretion. They call it political question. Then the Supreme Court said, however, says that the appellants, the people who appeal, go to the Supreme Court and appeal are called appellants. That the appellants have standing and capacity to institute the present action, which means that the court recognized the capacity of Sapo people to raise any issue in Liberia, that the Sapo people have legal standing. That's a very important statement coming from the court for the first time. So no one can raise issue about Sapo people as a group of legal capacity to raise any issue in Liberia. That's very important. Yes, Sapo people cannot raise political issue. You cannot ask the court to decide a matter of discretion, but the Sapo people have standing capacity. That's what the court said. We consider this an important victory. As a result of that, on January 21, 2026, I wrote a letter to the president of Liberia, who is the head of one of the political branches of Liberia and the head of state, stating that the court has said it cannot deal with the issue of on political questions. So I wrote him and said, advise, now you instruct the ministries and other agencies of government, whenever they are trying to make decisions on the basis of ethnicity, to also include the Sapo people. So that's the letter that I wrote to the president. I said, Accordingly, Your Excellency, we respectfully urge you to consider the following. One, publicly and formally recognize the Sapo people as a distinct indigenous ethnic group of Liberia with historically established communities, primarily located in parts of Grand Jede and Sinoe counties. And two, initiate appropriate executive or policy measures to ensure that the cultural identity of the Sapo people is under equal respect and visibility in national representation, including future currency designs and other state symbols. So, because the court said this kind of issue has never been considered by any court in a common law jurisdiction. We agree with that. But, and that this is a political question, the question of making the use of symbol. So we have already put the president on record that as the head of government, in running the government, he should make sure that whenever the symbols of different ethnic groups are considered, or if any decision is being made on the basis of ethnic groups, the Sapo people should be included. Hello?
Good, Patrick.
Sorry.
Thank you, Councillor. Thank you, really. Is the political question now answerable? For instance, you have written the president asking him to put in place measures that will include the Sapo people on national symbols or new currency. Now the president has convened or requested the legislature to convene this week for 10 days. And one of the agenda items will be the printing of new banknotes. Is this legally possible for any inclusion in this particular new printing that is coming up, or will the people have to wait in the future when new designs are made?
So here's what I as lawyer for the Sapo people, I'm suggesting to the organization leadership of the organization that we seek an audience with the speaker. All right, we seek an audience with the speaker, so that if the legislature come out with a resolution and say, look, if you are going to use symbols, then you have to use the symbol also of the Sapo people. So because as a political issue, the court has said it should be dealt with politically. So the leadership can seek an audience with the legislature. The leadership can also seek an audience even with the president. Those are the two things to do.
Okay, Perkins.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Councillor Gongloe. It's an honor to be here sharing this platform with you. You are one of the upright men in Liberia. Your name is a household name, and it's a privilege to be here with you this evening. Dak, I know you said, our question we want to, go to on one topic, and then before we move on, but that information came a little too late. So my question kind of will take off.
Okay, shoot your question in whatever direction you wish. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come back to the Sapo questions later. There are a lot of things we have to understand about what is going on. But Councillor Gongloe, the first thing I want to start with will be, do you think that the Liberian Constitution needs to be rewritten or amended in order to reflect a modern society? Because if I'm not mistaken, the last time that constitution was looked upon was maybe 1986 or 1985, and now we are in 2026. Now, do we need to go back to that constitution and rewrite it or amend it and to reflect the 21st century lifestyle?
Okay, you are not coming in. You're coming in broken. So, your question is whether or not we need to rewrite the Constitution or review and amend provisions or something like that?
Yes, sir.
Is that
Yes,
a
sir.
question? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Look, in all fairness, the Constitution came into being in 1986. And then by 1989, we started fighting war. Until 2006, before the Constitution started operating. Well, we had election in 1997, and then briefly we had a constitutional period and we went back to war. I don't think we have had maybe even we have not had 40 years of maybe even not even 35 years of strict constitutional governance in Liberia. There are many things even in the Constitution as it exists now that was supposed to be done by the legislature that have not been done. For example, the claims court, right? When people have claims against government, the Constitution said, oh, the legislature should establish a claims court so that people whose rights are violated, people, the contract rights and other rights, can then take cases against government. Since 1986, the legislature has not passed that law. So many doable that were supposed to be done under even the Constitution has not happened. There are some provisions of the Constitution that people have concern about, for example, the tenure. People staying in office for 9 years, 6 years. It's just too long. It makes it difficult for people to review their leaders. Is the fear of going to election and losing election in a democracy that can make elected officials perform well. But if the time is long, sometimes it can develop some level of impunity because they feel the time is long. It's going to take a long time for them to be assessed and evaluated. So, and those things are come on the floor, but in the past, there have been so many propositions for amendments, so it's been difficult for it to work. I know there are concerns, but to a large extent, our problem is not the lack of existence of law, but our problem has largely been the ability of the government itself to govern consistent with law. So even if we amend our constitution or we come up with a new constitution and that looks very good, maybe even better than American Constitution or whatever, if there's not a commitment by the people in government to govern in accordance with the law, it will be an exercise in futility. So I always tell people we should not raise our hope that by the time we amend our laws, things will change for the better. There is clearly, most often, it is government officials that violate the laws that are meant for our safety, our happiness, and our common good. So we have to hold the officials of the government feet to fire to govern in accordance with law. Look at, for example, the issue of people holding tenure positions that came under the first United Party government. This time, the United Party government that actually brought into being the tenure position is questioning it by firing people not in keeping with law. I always say when I speak about it, it's like being in opposition and writing a bestseller, a very good book that is a bestseller, then you take power and ban the book. Our people just find it difficult to live within the confines of the law. That's it. That's the main problem in Liberia. It's not the absence of good laws.
Thank you, Councilor. Thank you. That was really clear and on the point. I do agree with you. We do have laws, but to follow the laws is the problem with us as a country or as a people. Now, my second question will goes to our justice system. As a counselor, what are some of the critical reforms that can be done to improve our justice system in Liberia? How do we kind of empower the lower court to administer cases instead of taking almost every case to the Supreme Court? How do we kind of improve on that?
So that will require a constitutional amendment, because Article 20B says that the right of appeal shall remain inviolate, that even $1 case can go to the Supreme Court, and that just clogs the Supreme Court docket with so many cases. In America, for example, people go to the Supreme Court on certiorari, and the Supreme Court has the discretion whether or not to hear a particular case. Supreme Court could get 100,000 cases and decide to hear 100 and take time and deal with those cases, because in the United States we have Court of Appeal. So we've been toiling with the idea of Court of Appeal, so that some cases can end at the Court of Appeal, a third level or a fourth level, an intermediate court between the Circuit Court and the Supreme Court. But when we deal with that, we always go to Article 20B and say, we are caught here. So maybe that provision, for example, needs to be amended. When we amend that provision and then decide that the Supreme Court will have discretion to hear cases, and some cases can end at the Court of Appeals, and only, for example, constitutional cases, cases that have to deal with constitutional issues should then go to the Supreme Court, right? Or cases that have to deal with, for example, first degree felony murder, serious cases should go to the Supreme Court, but not somebody's phone was stolen, $200. Cases like that have gone to the Supreme Court, and I think it is not good for our country in terms of making the justice system to work smoothly. Another thing I may add is, when long time ago, so we have 5 justices on the Supreme Court. Some people have argued that it probably needs to be more than 5, because Liberian people are getting more aware of their rights. And so a lot of people are going to court than before. And the justices have one law clerk, young lawyers to help do the research and all that. I think each of the justices should have 2 to 3, maybe more law clerks to do their research and help them write opinion. Similarly, in the lower court, the circuit court judges should have at least 1 law clerk. And in some counties, like Monserrato, these circuit court judges should have 2, 3 law clerks. But there are so many cases, and property cases, land cases, are just so clogged up in the courts. And in each of those courts that, deal with land cases, you just have the judge alone, no one to help except clerk of court. So in America, for example, lower court has a lot of, they have law clerks. Brilliant students from law school are employed to be law clerks to help the judges to do their work. I think we should consider things like that. There are many little things in the justice system that should be improved upon.
Counsel, thank you. Our viewers, again, if you have comments, we'll read a comment, or you have question for our guests, please write it down. We'll read. But Counsel, I just wanted to get a little clarity, right, with the Sapo case. You are using a word like legal standing, and I don't know what that means, right? Legal standing. So can you definitively tell us that the ruling from the court was a victory for the Sapo people or not?
I didn't hear you well. Please repeat. There was.
Are you hearing me now?
Yeah, you want to know what standing means.
Right. That's one part.
Okay, so,
I want. Yeah, and also I wanted to know.
So,
was it a victory for the Sapo people, or I mean, what is it? Because I don't know exactly what that was a victory or not.
I consider a victory for the Sapo people in terms of their existence as a group, because the government questioned their existence as a group. You don't have standing to raise any issue in Liberia, in any court of Liberia. You don't have capacity, and the court used the other word, capacity. You do not have the legal capacity to raise any issue in Liberia as a group. And the court said the Sapo people have the capacity and standing, which means they are recognized to raise any issue as a group called Sapo people in Liberia. That has never been said before.
Okay, excellent. So, Council, another thing, maybe I'll use my moderation. Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you.
Okay, good. So, another issue that has been talked about by the Sapo people is the issue of having their own county. Is that something that you support for the Sapo people to have their own county? Is that an idea that you support?
So that's a political question, not a legal question, right? Because the lawmakers have to decide. But let's look at what has happened in other places. You know, Bapolo used to be Lower Lofa, right? Bapolo was Lower Lofa. And then they started pushing for becoming a county. And some powerful people appealed to the legislature, and through their lobbying, Bapolo became a county. Another example is River G. As you know, River G was part of Grand Jeddah, a large part of River G. Portion of it was part of Maryland. And then they campaigned, and I think it was through Nathaniel Williams, Senator Nathaniel Williams. And that portion of Grand Jeddah became a county. So we used to have 5 counties. Then lobbying took it to 9 counties. And some poor lobbying, somewhere it went to 15 counties. You know, so it can be done.
Yeah, so sort of to be clear, that's a political question.
So it can only be decided politically. You can now, for example, sue the legislature to make Sapo people, wherever the Sapo people occupy, to be a county. It is a subject of lobbying, talking with the politicians, people appealing. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
People lobbying with the lawmakers and saying, because when you lobby, you have to say this district, that district, this boundary, all of that, you know, all of those have to be studied. And then they have to convince lawmakers from the other countries to agree. So if the Sapo people as a group from Grand Jeddah and Sinoe want to come together and have and be recognized as a county, all of that is possible once you campaign for it.
Nice. Okay. So I got 2 follow-up questions on the Sapo issue. Then we'll transition to something else. This one I wanted to be a little pointed, so I wrote it down. So that the Sapo people argue that the exclusion from the 1,000 banknote amounts to cultural marginalization, given that other tribes masks were featured. From a constitutional standpoint, how do you translate cultural recognition into a legally enforceable right rather than a symbolic grievance?
Well, on the question of a decision on what symbol should be used. Of course, that's the argument that we try to make in a court, that the bank should have recognized the Sapo people in taking symbols. But a lot of the decisions are based on ignorance. That's why we have to program like this. Is good to enlighten people. There are people in Liberia who say, "Oh, the Sapo people are crime people." And they are decision makers. They say the Sapo people are agreeable people. Some say the Sapo people are cruel people. No tribe in Liberia was created by legislation. The writers, like the historians, just included them. And then the political authorities started dealing with them on the basis of their groupings. There was no legislation recognizing the Mana people, or the Gio people, or the Basa people. It was just a political decision to deal with them. And I think the Sapo people need to push more, because if the government has a Sapo language program, the government recognizes a forest and says Sapo National Forest, and says Sapo governor, then we should be campaigning more for that type of recognition to be reflected in everything that happens. That's what I think. And right now we can start with seeking an audience with the speaker, and since they're about to produce maybe a new set of currency, maybe they will have a new design on those notes. Yeah.
Okay, so guys, my last question on this, the issue of the Sapo. Counsel, in your argument before the Supreme Court, were you framing the exclusion of the Sapo mask as a violation of equal protection under Liberian law? And if so,
yes,
what precedent supports the idea? Let me finish the question, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the question is, I will just start from the beginning again. In your argument before the Supreme Court, were you framing the exclusion of the Sapo mask as a violation of equal protection under Liberian law? If so, what precedent supports the idea that symbolic representation on currency falls within constitutional equality?
Well, those are not matters that have been brought to the court, but Article 5 of the Constitution talks about this idea of inclusion, and then we are party to the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, on economic, social, and cultural rights. Liberia is a state party to all of those international instruments that promote recognition of cultural rights, that promotes equality of all people. Article 11 of the Constitution, we cited it. Article 11C of the Constitution talks about equal protection of the law. We argue that the Supreme Court took the side of, oh, if this decision is the whole issue that brought the Sapo people before the court was exclusion of the Sapo mask. And the Supreme Court then decided, in the Supreme Court's view, it was discretionary. And discretionary issues are political questions and are not justiciable. That's what the Supreme Court said. That is why we decided, all right, then we will move politically by writing the president and by lobbying with the legislature matters. Even the census, we argue that even the census, the last census recognized the Sapo people as a crew. You know. Hello?
Yeah, we found you.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go round two. Shirley, it's your turn.
Okay, I think I have a follow-up question before I go through my question here, if that's okay, because the counselor, you mentioned that Liberia has the laws in place, but the real issue, according to you, is enforcing them. So then my question is, who exactly is failing in that responsibility, and what specific accountability measures should be taken against the people that are failing or are refusing to follow the law?
Okay, so the people of Liberia have only one way. They elect people. On election day, we give power of attorney to the president and to the lawmakers to take care of us. And take care of us consistent with the Constitution and statute laws of Liberia. And that the oath that they take, all of them take oath to obey, to defend, to promote, to execute, to implement the law, and to govern according to the Constitution and statute laws. When they fail to do so, one of the things that we have in our hands to do as Liberian people is to vote them out of office. And the other way is to take them to court, as the Sapo people did, because the court is the last place to determine whether or not things have been done illegally. For example, those who have been dismissed, who hold any position, they have been going to the court and questioning the action of the executive, and the court has decided in their favor. They've gone to the court and said, look, the government of Liberia is in violation of the law, creating the agency that I headed, and I was fired for no legal reason. And the court, in almost all, in fact, yeah, in all of the cases, has ruled in favor of those whose rights were affected. That was violation of the law. So the court, in many instances, then, you know, correct.
Yeah, he's the service is glitching out too bad. Let's see.
Hello?
Yeah,
For example,
yeah.
if you follow cases like John Molu, Mirror Bro, these people were, their rights were violated by the legislature, and they went to court and won. So that those are the ways. We vote them out of office. We also go to court to question the illegal actions.
Thank you. So
Are you hearing me? Okay.
I'm sorry. Should I ask my second question? Well, my first question, to be fair. So you also I listened to you talk about how you not only educating people in a classroom or in the courthouse, you go outside on the street and find every means possible to educate people. So that brings me to my question of how could you assess the leadership of Joseph Boakai so far, and what should Liberians realistically expect moving forward towards 2029?
Well, you know, like I said, in some places there are missteps. I just pointed one to you. Not respecting the law on tenure, not respecting procurement processes. We just got up, for example, and heard that there is a presidential center being built in Foya. It was not in the budget. And nothing happened to anyone. The president said on the radio, oh, I didn't know about that project. But anyway, and nothing happened to anyone. The project is going on. So it's the question of and then outsourcing Liberian jobs to foreigners. Our work permit, it was done under the real regime, the CDC, and the party talk about it. Oh, there are all these different companies that are coming that taking jobs from Liberian or sharing in our revenue. All of these things are not correct, but I've not seen any change, fundamental change from those kinds of decision making, like outsourcing jobs. When you outsource jobs, you actually take jobs from Liberian people, which means you are increasing unemployment. And I strongly believe that to bring foreign companies here, to, for example, take over the licensing or work permit or resident permit or any of those things that Liberians were doing before. Not only are they taking jobs from Liberian people, but they are also reducing our revenue. Because, for example, at the Ministry of Labor, there's a Slovenian company that is doing the, issuing work permits and getting 40% of whatever is paid. I don't think any company should come here to share in our revenue. Foreign investors should come here, build factories, employ people, and pay taxes to government, get their profit, pay taxes to government, and the employees to pay income taxes to government, thereby growing our revenue. But I'm not, these kind of things, for example, for me, are not correct because they're not going to take the country forward. So these are rule of law issues, procurement, just doing things the legal way. That's one of the things I was talking about. The government being the biggest violator of the law, not governing according to law. And I don't care what you do in the country. If you don't uphold law, everything goes wrong. In law, we talk about the fruit of the poisonous tree. The tree is poisonous, the leaf, the fruit, everything bad. So law, governance must be in accordance with law. That is a challenge for this government. And when rule of law fails, a lot of things fail.
Thank you. I'm going to do my last question. And I'm going to switch my last question because I am a young Liberian. Had the passion to go to law school. That's a different story. And I still feel like I have the opportunity to do that at some point in my life. But if you were given advice to a young Liberian, especially someone who is determined and motivated to go to law school and to walk in your footsteps of, being an advocate and the things that you are doing, what are some of the advice you would give them?
I think learn to be a reader. Just read without end. Love reading. Just read all the time. And check your English grammar, because English is the tool of practicing law. We write, we speak every day. If you see, I've had a situation where, for example, in the Grand Judean case, the 18 Grand Judeans, I wrote a 67-page brief. And to do that, I stayed in this office for 3 days without going home. Because you are defending people's rights, people who could go to jail for a long time, So you have to put your time to it. And law books are, they don't have pictures, right? So a friend of mine, when I was going to law school, go to medical school, he said, law is difficult. Medicine, in the medical book, we have skeleton, we have different things. We can be looking at pictures. But law is just writing, So, and a lot of young people who stayed with me before, as my children, beyond my natural children, decided not to go to law school. Only one of them decided he would go to law school. And I kept asking them, have I not impressed you, Paul? Why don't you want to go to law school? All of them said, we want to sleep. We don't see you going to bed in the house. We woke up 12 o'clock, you sit in your office.
You're
You
reading.
woke up 4 o'clock, you sit in your office. And so we want to sleep. But I do find time to sleep. And the thing is, you have to love it. And law, is competitive. It makes you think beyond the ordinary. For example, Nelson Mandela. I never stopped reading that document. And Nelson Mandela appeared in court and asked one question as a lawyer and won. And I said, wow, lawyers are smart people. That was before I became a lawyer, and I came across that documentary, where he appeared in court in an all-white court in the 1950s. And a woman accused a black man of being raped. And he just asked one question to the woman on the witness stand. Madam Witness, are you saying that black man penetrated you? She said no. Because if she had said yes, she would have been stigmatized. White judge, white court officer, white jury, white audience. And she just looked. But if Mandela asked a question, did you say you were raped by that man? She would have said yes. But he chose to be graphic. Are you saying that that defendant in the dock penetrated you? And she said no. That's brilliance, right? And so law is a very interesting profession. It makes people think in a different way. I've been teaching the laws for a long time. And I've taught journalists, I've taught medical doctors, I've taught all these different people. And they say, by the time they leave, they start thinking differently. So, read a lot. Read a lot. Just be reading all the time. Get yourself to understand some Latin phrases. Go and yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Councillor. I really appreciate it. So I'm back with my second batch of questions. Let me begin with Councillor Gongloe's assessment of the Boakai's administration. His party was the first political party to endorse President Boakai in a runoff election, and currently his vice running mate serves as the executive director for the Environmental Protection Agency. So tell us, Councillor Gongloe, on the basis of what Ria was criticized for, what is President Boakai doing differently right now as an ally of his party, or you are in an alliance with him? Bit by bit, let's go according to the issues really. What difference has been made by President Boakai? Different things President Ria did differently.
I think we have to be fair that the road to southeastern Liberia, from Monrovia, from Ganta to Maryland, and the road from Ganta to Sinoe, if you take the other road passing to Sapo National Forest and through the Pinestown Junction to Greenville, to RTR, Buchanan, that we have to be fair that the government has done well there in terms of people having the ability to leave the southeast and come to Monrovia and probably return the next day. Because I campaigned there in the southeast. When I went back this time, I saw a difference to give it to them. But when it comes to governance issues, for example, I just stated one, the issue of outsourcing jobs to non-Liberians, to non-Liberian companies. That hasn't changed. That has not changed at all. The issue of upholding law, removing people from tenure positions, that hasn't changed. The issue of procurement issues, That was unaware. It was challenging, unaware. The same thing is happening right now. And so I see a lot of similarities in things that have been done. The Boakai government has a lot of people who are very good in terms of going to the public. Some progress has been made in foreign relations, although I have to be fair to say Kamanya did well as well. Some of the things that are happening in foreign relations under this government started unaware with Kamanya, even the campaigning for the non-permanent seat on the United Nations, something that Kamanya was working on. Again, it was concluded under this government. So yes, then the issue of placing partisans in government, in civil service position, some of that was an issue on where as well. And some of these issues are happening now because I have a situation where civil servants are coming to me. Some of them have been dismissed or suspended simply because people heading agencies of government want to find spaces for partisans. That is not good. It does not promote unity. I have to say EPA has done well, not just because the head of EPA was my running mate, but other people are independently assessed him to be doing extremely well. EPA used to be considered like a small NGO that people didn't know much about, but Dr. Yuri Yakpolo travels all over the world and has addressed so many conferences in the world, and Liberia is placed right there on top when people are talking about climate change and others. So EPA has done well. So some agencies of government are doing well. Some agencies of government are doing the same thing that happened before. And I don't see President Boakai being firm in terms of dealing with his cabinet ministers, for example. I think it's a bad example for the president to be saying, oh, some of you people are undermining my government. If you keep undermining, I will dismiss you. No official government need that notice. Because if they are undermining your government, then it means that they are not seeking the welfare of the people. They are undermining their safety as well, and dismiss them. You know, I used to hear President Shirley say the same thing, you know, I would reach out for my government. I would do this. I think that's poor governance. That's ineffective. You should fire people when they do wrong so that it can serve as a notice to other people, it can serve as a deterrent to other people. So we was not firing people. He let a lot of people go on for a long time, and that undermined the effectiveness of his government. And I see that happening right now. And then the president sort of tend to cast aspersion on everybody. There are ministers in his government, there are heads of agencies who are doing their level best, and the public is impressed with them. But when you just lump everybody into one basket and say you people are not doing well, it doesn't serve as an incentive for those who are trying to be good. And so I think, you know, that part of rescuing has not happened. The other area is creating jobs that I talk about, like, you know, breaking new ground, thinking out of the box, come up with tax policy, do different things to improve the economy. For example, the Chinese just created incentive for a lot of American companies to go to China, then they created jobs and increased productivity of China. What incentives are being provided by this government to attract investors, local and international investors, to grow the economy, to create jobs, you know? And then education. We still have what they call graduation fees. I've been talking about it. It was there on it's still on. Some schools have higher graduation fees than even the semester fees. I think that's a form of corruption, exploiting parents, and they are crying, and the government is doing nothing about it. I've personally written an open letter to President Boakai about him. He hasn't done anything. In Monrovia, for example, there's no high school in central Monrovia that is a government high school. GW Gibson was established as a elementary school, and junior high was established as a government junior high school on Depot Street. I did a podcast about it the other day. I said, we have this entry building standing that was meant for a housing bank. Why did you put a government school there? So, and then even area, I think the test of improvement in the health sector is when people stop, when there's a slowdown or a complete stop on people going to Ghana and India. As long as Liberians are still going to Ghana and India for better health services, it means we haven't improved our health sector. So the challenges are there. And so there are many. I'm just telling you that change has taken or is gradually taking place in some areas, but to a large extent, not much has happened fundamentally.
Not much has happened, seriously. Okay, so, but on the other hand, let's look at this public outcry. The Salid administration, which keep the power right after the Civil War, did not.
Yeah, he's glitching up there.
Sorry, internet. Yeah, Monrovia's Monserrato State remain overly crowded, and the government did nothing to repatriate or send people back to their counties, of origin after the war. Now the whole place has become congested. Everywhere is public outcry, humiliation, even though it's illegal under the law. But if you were the president of Liberia, or maybe if you were at the land authority or at the court or maybe at the police, wherever these laws are enforced, what we have done differently, people are crying all over the place. Do you feel empathy for them as a politician, or lawyer, or human rights defender?
One of the things for a president, one of the attitudes that a president should have is empathy, and looking at weighing the enforcement of law and the negative social impact of certain decisions. For example, there's a case in the Liberian law that deals with the liberty of the individual. It is in 14 Cllr, Skyfire versus Republican. The Supreme Court said, look, the dignity of the individual is higher, even the liberty of the individual is higher, even than the dignity of the court. But in every situation, the court must weigh whether or not releasing a person, giving a person freedom, will be harmful to society. And when you weigh and find out that giving the person freedom, releasing the person from jail, might be harmful to society, then in that case you say, no, the pendulum is on the side of the safety of society, so I'm not going to release the person from jail. If a certain action is going to cause mass displacement of people, then it has to be done in a way when some of the reasons why Monrovia is packed is because the government has not done much outside Monrovia to create an incentive for people to stay in their counties, like creating jobs, creating an investment climate in counties, having very good schools in the counties, things that help families to be up. Then people will go back home by themselves. Government does not have to take you and send you back home. And some of the things that are happening are based upon approval by government giving squatters right to people. Some of them are based on corrupt government officials giving assurances, sometimes that they don't have authority to give or that they have. Too many things have happened. And I think that that's something that the government should reflect on. One of the things I would have done as president was to call a national conference. What Taylor did in 1998 was very important. Calling a national conference to deal with all of the major issues in Liberia. I addressed that conference. A lot of people came from abroad and addressed the conference. We have had war, we have had situation. What are the issues that are confronting the country and what are the solutions? And people were going to bring a lot of ideas to deal with all of the issues. We have now had a national conversation on the current situation in Liberia created by the war and the possible solutions from different people in and out of government so that we can solve our national issue. I think dealing with this issue piecemeal is not the way. I think we should have had, and it's still not late to have some of these major issues, because I have seen under President Shirley, there were breaking down of places that were built on the islands, the rubber street ministries, they broke down places and opened up. And government are not build roads in those places. You'll be surprised that people are beginning to build houses in those areas again, because it's been more than 10 years and some of those places are lying idle and the population is growing and people are beginning to build makeshift places there. So some of the things are based on dereliction of duty. Having said that, if there is a judgment from the court in a judgment matter, of course, enforcement of the judgment by the court is not illegal. Government can mediate alternative dispute resolution. Government can talk to people. They can be like, government can, and stand on paper and say, look, can you give this person 2 years? Can we do this? And there can be some understanding to do it in such a way that it doesn't create havoc. All of those things are part of governance, negotiation, talking to people, showing empathy, showing concern. Those are part of governance.
Okay, so before I hear, so before I hear back quickly, just that follow up. You just, the media is now quoting you of the endorsement of Jonathan Wheeler's appointment as next chairperson. Even though the other opposition colleagues are saying it is not fair enough for democracy and the 2029 elections. Why did you endorse Wheeler? On what basis? When your friends colleagues.
We have to be fair, and also I worked for the Elections Commission as a lawyer before. I know from the Elections Commission that if anything wrong happens to the result, it actually starts from the field and the places where they enter the data, right? Because what the technicians give to the Elections Commission, the Board of Commissioners, is what they read. For example, Elizabeth Boyner was acting chair of the Elections Commission, co-chair, and her husband, Blambo Nelson, was a senator running to retain his seat from Grand Crew, and he lost. And there's nothing she could have done about it. Unity Party government, Jerome Kokoya was a candidate on a Unity Party ticket in Bon County. He lost, and he was made chairman of the Elections Commission. Councilor Tipa Yuri was a senatorial candidate in Riverside County. She lost, and she was appointed on the Elections Commission as co-chair. I'm saying we have to be fair, especially the two parties that have been leading have done the same thing. So I don't think anybody can speak with credibility, for example, from the CDC, in questioning the appointment of Jonathan Wheeler, unless you show that while on the commission, he did something in a dishonest way, he violated the election law or dishonest, but he had the adequate experience, he had education experience, he served there for a long time, and I think he's fit to go there. Simply because of the examples I'm giving, that people from the two parties have gone on that commission, and they are even being partisans that participated in the election. Jonathan Wheeler did not participate as a candidate. Yes, he supported Unity Party, but I don't think there's sufficient reason to stop him from going, because we have to be careful when we are setting standards. It can be used as a precedent, just as I'm referring to this precedent that have been set in the past by partisans who became members of the Elections Commission. What is required is that when you get there, you should be fair. In every country, even in the United States, some people are strong Democrats and they are lawyers and they go to the Supreme Court when their party is in power. Republicans are on the bench because the Republican Party was in power. The important thing is you take oath to remain neutral and to uphold the law. So I've not found any legal reason, any scientific reason I've not found any reason not to allow Jonathan Wheeler to go there.
All right, Council. Perkins.
Yes, sir.
I think the council is frozen there. I just wanted to just wrap it up and get your 2 questions in there in mind, then we'll close the event on for a while. I mean, we're almost on the 2 hours mark.
Okay.
Council, welcome. About Perkins, why are 2 questions? Council will be on for a while. We want to let you go. So the last 4 questions and you'll be out.
Please. Today was I had three classes today in the 2 law schools. So by this hour, I'm tired.
Yes. Yeah, I can tell. So Perkins, let's do your 2 questions quick.
Yes, thank you for affording us your time. We know you are a very busy man, and you being here this evening was an honor. Council, I just want to ask real quick, how many times have you ran for president in Liberia?
1 time.
1 time, okay. Because I remember one of your friends came in the States during the last election, and I was kind of picking them out about, who are the candidates, and he named all the candidates, and he named you. And then he said, I said, so why do you think Councillor Gongloe, do you think he will win or not? He said, listen, I will tell you something, my son. He said, Councillor Gongloe myself, we went to school, I know him well. He said, Councillor Gongloe has not changed. Even when we were young coming up, and in high school or in college, we had 2-3 girlfriends here and there. The councillor dated 1 woman, and that was it. All the time we know him. So he always been a man that does things the right way. But Liberian people are better driven. So maybe the councillor might not win the election. So that's why I want to go there real quick. What do you think is the main reason why your party agenda has not resonated with the Liberian voter yet?
Well, that's democracy. In UK, some parties, I think there was one time the Labour Party for like 20 years were out of power. And then one day it came to power. These things happen. I think one of the reasons is money. You cannot, be all over without the required finance. You need pool watchers, for example. You need to send your people all in the field. Yes, I went to 354 towns, but we should have had people all in those towns working even in our absence while we were out to keep the message going. Everywhere I went, the people say, oh, your message is good, but you are just coming. There's another thing about Liberian voting culture, besides the question of money. They have this thing about that this present time, when the Liberian people announce that that's your time, what's your name again, Marshall? What's your
Perkins.
name?
Perkins.
Perkins.
Yeah.
When they say that Perkins time, my brother, I don't care what anybody says. They say that Perkins time. Sometimes it's based on sympathy. They will say, but Perkins been there 2 times, this third time, let you give it a Perkins.
Yes.
So there's a strong voting culture here about that the present time. When you are looking for them to put that time behind you, that's it. In the last election, I have to tell you, everywhere I went, those who didn't want to vote for the ruling party said that Joe Boakai time. Every part of the country I went to. And fact being told, Boakai did not campaign. He was sitting in Monrovia. I don't even think during the campaign season he went all over Lofa. He may have gone one time or not. He went to Nimba, the what I know. He didn't go many places. But people decided in the places I went, River says all over. I went to the 73 electoral districts. I heard his name. Yeah, that thing you're talking is good, but not your town, the Boakai town. So, yeah, I'm telling you. I saw the same thing happen to Dylan in 2019. Dylan didn't have money, but he was talking and said, we tired with CDC. We go for Dylan this time. And the urban population had a lot of expectation for the young man coming to power. They supported him. And maybe they put a lot on their plate and they didn't see it coming. In 2019, the government, CDC had been in power. It was the second appointed, and Dylan got elected. He didn't have money. So I think largely when the Liberian people, you are looking maybe your message or maybe out of sympathy that you lost election 1 or 2 times and they say, this time that your time, go home and sleep. I think that in my view has become a Liberian voting culture and we can't ignore it. This time, the present time. Every time they have said that the present time, the person wins. So I hope in the coming election they will say that it's broom time.
Yes. Thank you very much, Council. Thank you. That's appreciated. So my last question, knowing that this will be my last question, I will kind of do it 2 in 1. I've been following most of your podcast. I saw you with some local rice producer, either in Nimba County somewhere, and you were promoting those guys, and with many other videos. So I would think, what agricultural mechanism can we put in place as a nation to be self-sufficient in production? That would be one. And then my second question, which would be the same in one. I know we talk about the issue of lawmaker Yeke Koluba being investigated by PS right now concerning a statement that he made. I personally have shared that particular video. I've read that video. Yeke Koluba clearly said that according to the survey that Yeke Koluba did, according to his survey and the people that he have questioned, the land in question belongs to Guinea, according to the survey that Yeke did. Now, we all know that Yeke does not work for the Liberian Land Authority, the agency that is responsible for land mapping and survey in Liberia. He's a lawmaker. But in terms of when it comes to that kind of situation that was happening between the 2 countries, for a lawmaker who has sworn on oath to the Constitution of Liberia to come publicly and say, according to the survey that I have done, the land belongs to Guinea. What do you think that statement constitutes? And so that would be my 2 questions: the agricultural mechanism that we can put in place to be full or self-sufficient in food production, and Yeke Koluba issue.
Yeah. So when I was running campaign, I talked about agriculture. I said that we will purchase tractors and make sure that in every county, not less than 100 acres of land will be set aside and to plant rice in all of the 15 counties, minimally, right? And then I said, we will use the military. We are not fighting war. We'll use the military, give the military machines to to have agricultural farms in the 15 counties. They work by command, and they could do it. I say the military is meant to protect our security, and food insecurity is a security issue. I mentioned that, and I say minimally plus other incentives to grow food. Look at what is happening in Ouagadougou. Government food production should not be just a private matter. Even in America, government can subsidize farmers to make sure that there is food. So we will put a lot in it so that we become self-sufficient in the food we eat, which is rice. That's one of the reasons why I've been promoting local producers. The man you talk about, he was in his office today. He brought something for me from Lofa in the Salaye district, all right? And I went to his luncheon the other day. I went all the way to Tisu, it's a town outside the main road in Salaye district, to encourage him. And I did a video that you saw. I bought 5 bags of rice. I did a video and said, I'm calling upon the president, everybody to buy rice. So it is doable. We have fertile soil, and we can invest in the fertile soil and get machines to. The only way to increase production is to forget about cutlasses and hoes. If you use cutlasses and hoes, you will never get there. You have to mechanize agriculture to increase food production. It's happening in Burkina Faso. Now, having said that, I also said in Lofa the other day, one of the reasons that the young people voted against President George Weah is that he could not do well for us in his area, in the area that brought him to prominence that we knew him for. Football, we could not win WAFU, the West African Cup, we could not even be finalists in the African Cup, I'm not talking about World Cup. And then the young people felt that he failed. The same way, the only thing we know President Boakai for in this country is agriculture. He came from school, he worked with LPMC, he became agriculture minister later on, before becoming vice president. If under his regime, Liberia is not self-sufficient in food production, I don't care. He can pave all the roads in Liberia, will say he has failed. Because at the area that we know him, that the area of his experience, there's so many years in government he spent in the area of agriculture. If he does not help us to be self-sufficient in rice production, in food production, then he has failed. And so we have to recap, I believe that there should be mechanization of agriculture in order for us to produce, rice large scale. We have the capacity to even export rice because of the fertile soil that we have. All right. So that is my take.
Council, to let you go, man. Council, to just
for better Liberia. Now,
to let you go, Council. Let me get my 2 questions in there so you can call your day.
Let me conclude on the Yaka Koloba thing.
Thank you.
Right. You see, even I spoke about, I said, Guinea and Liberia will never fight. From what I know, I was a presidential envoy one time to Guinea. Okay. But if he says that as a lawmaker, and anybody in this country, that's what I said the other day, that the president should set up a commission of inquiry to investigate what led to the conflict at the border so that the public can be properly informed. When something like that happens, that's what is done in many countries. I remember when April 14 took place, you may have been old enough, President Trump set up a national commission headed by Ntesie Brunel to inquire into what led to April 14. At the end of it, he fired the Minister of Agriculture, Florence Sinoe, the Minister of Justice, Oliver Bright, and the Minister of Finance, James T. Phillips. So when something strange like this happens, you try to set up a commission inquiry. And maybe that commission inquiry will have invited Honorable Yaka Koloba and say, we want to hear you because we want to get to the bottom. If it is true that it lands for Guinea, then Liberian government has a different way of approaching it. So I don't think the reaction should be, oh, no, you are unpatriotic country. No. we should be as a country prepared to listen to people to find out what the truth is. But the statement, one time I talked to one army chief in Liberia here. I don't want to call a name, but somebody said, oh, Liberia is sitting on time bomb. There's going to be so and so. So I called him. I said, why you didn't do anything? He said, we train security people. When we listen to people, we can only take action and find out the person has the ability to do anything about what he's saying. But we're not going to follow every statement that people make. You distract yourself unnecessarily. So I don't think the approach is to say, oh, why you said it. People should not be sentimental about major issues like this. That's what
okay, Council, my last two questions to let you go. Should I say your campaign mantra, or every time you speak, your favorite line is government is a place to serve and not to steal? My question is, who is stealing from the Liberian people that you have identified?
Oh, well, I'm a lawyer. I don't want to call names. That could lead me to damages. But in this country, the question of corruption is something that so many governments have talked about. When Joe took over this country, the number one thing he said was rampant corruption, right? And then his government became corrupt and we went to war. We have had people prosecuted for corruption. I've seen people in no time building big houses. People know in the community. That is why it is on the basis of that I said, when I become president, I will have quarterly lifestyle audit. So if you are a minister and in 3 months, I see you riding $100,000 Mercedes Benz that your salary cannot afford, and I have record, I call the NSA and say, let's check on this person's asset declaration or the LACC, and then they check and find out that your asset that you declare and the income you have now can't even go to $30,000, or you'll be investigated. In fact, I will fire you from the government, and then we'll investigate you because you are suspiciously becoming rich. So we have to have this broom. We have to find all ways to sweep corruption from government, ingenious ways.
Okay, Council, my next question is, you spoke of education. I think you used the word ignorance is a problem in the country.
Yep.
So, and the last time I checked, the people that are ruling the country, you yourself, you're an educated man, you serve as minister before in government. But I noticed that people put blame on ignorance. I don't know whether I necessarily agree with that premise. I want to put a question there. Do you think ignorance is the problem, or a lack of patriotism on the part of the political leaders, those that are in power, those of you that are leading the country or that led the country before?
I will tell you a little bit about my father and mother, they late, and then you understand what I'm talking about. So my father used to like calling people in Glaze or people to eat with him. So he called people to eat, and one of them was a sick person, and there were 5 persons. My mother brought 5 glasses for her to drink from it, and she never went to school, even though she could read the Bible in a Mana language. And my father, trying to be down to earth, said, "This native woman here like to show that she knows something. Let's drink from the same cup, yeah. Because he was a teacher in the time, he wanted to show that he's down to earth with everybody." So when everybody left, she said, "Wilfred, one of the people who you are drinking from has serious cough, and like he got tuberculosis, and you are drinking from that. He told Mama, what you want to show? What do you know? You don't know book like me, and you don't know anything. And my mother said, book knowledge different and common sense different. And he kept quiet. And I think her argument was stronger than his. He said, well, book knowledge different and common sense different. Look, some people can have PhD and still be ignorant, right? When the people that talking about were not. Look, here's one. If people were executed for corruption in 1980, why would some people be corrupt thinking that, oh, my own, they will not catch me? There is no secret in government. As far as I know, I've been minister. If you eat, you take money from the operation fund in the ministry, the comptroller will know. The chief accountant will know. There's no secret there. If you over invoice and say, look, they think that $100, but let's say that $2,000, the procurement director will know because you and he will share the money. There's no secret there. So for people to think that they can do things secretly and nobody will know in government, that's ignorance. And they are educated, they've got master's degree and PhD and all of that, and believe that, nobody will know. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about ignorance. That people will think that they are wiser than other people and they are doing things that people don't know. If you're in a car, for example, you're president, and you say President Perkins say he's in the car, he was talking against corruption, and he sat in the car, and the first day in government, he started telling somebody, Mohammed, Nahi, look, did you give $100,000 to my nephew that I sent to you? And the driver is acting like he's not hearing, right? The AD camp acting like he's not hearing. When those two people go home, they will say, when their wife bring food, they say, hey, Liberia will never change you. They will tell their wife will tell somebody, it will go out. There is no secret in government. But for people to be ignorant, to think that when you do something, it will not be discovered, that's ignorance. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. It's not that you don't have the education. They just don't have the common sense to know that what they are doing will be discovered. They know it's wrong, but some of them behave like what a
Council, my final question for the day to let you go. I mean, even though before I asked the question, I was a little alarmed when you said, when I asked you the question, who are those stealing from the country? And you say you can't call the people name. So, I mean, it seems as though you are protecting the roles or the criminals in the country, their identity. If the person is stealing from the country, I think the person should be exposed. But so I was a little alarmed when you say, I can't disclose the name because I'm a lawyer. But my final question for the day, Council, is, listen to you. You said you want to run. I think that's what I'm getting from you. You are running 2029, and you said that Liberian people, the electorate, they have the tendency to say, "Oh, that a person time or that a person time." Are you getting the indications from the Liberian people that it is your time, 2029? If so, what are the indications?
One of the indications is me appearing on your program. More platforms are calling me to appear. I'm a frequent speaker at graduation programs, installation programs, community programs. I go everywhere. And I think people are voting with their decisions. It means I'm getting more and more acceptable. And when I walk the street, everybody wants to take a photo with me. Let me take a picture with the broom. We will sue corruption for Liberia. That message is resonating. And I was in Sinoe, that the broom man there. And to the extent that when I just test people and leave the broom in the car and get outside, they will be whispering, I may look at the broom man. Then I'll go to the car, hey, that's the broom man, now let's take a picture. So the broom message, which is a message of anti-corruption and creating awareness about the danger of corruption, is catching on. And broom has become the #1 symbol in the country. So I get a good feeling from that the Liberian people will say this is the time for the broom man. But on the question of not calling names, we have I have to draft the Witness Protection and Whistleblower Act, you know, that makes you to give information without that people work on, because it doesn't make sense to call people names who will cover up. You need to, for corruption and things like that, you need to take people by surprise.
Okay, Council, thank you. We really appreciate your time coming on today, staying with us for 2 hours. Yeah, my last recommendation though, I know your philosophy is to sweep corruption from Liberia, but I'm looking at it's about optics.
For the government of Liberia.
Right, the government of Liberia. So what is little kind of weird to me is the idea that you walk around with broom in your hand. I think the optics, I don't know whether it look good to me. That's the issue I think you have to reconsider, because it's a philosophy that you have. So whether you carry broom around or not, when you gain power, you still implement your philosophy. So I just think it's kind of a little strange to see you walking with broom all in the street, you know.
And strange things I think that people remember. You know, when Abba, everybody will talk about Abba in the country. They say he used to take the Bible, then he had a mat, then he had his toothbrush and toothpaste. People remember that. All right. So it's deliberate. And as a teacher, I know that when you show example, physical example, it sticks in the student's mind. So for me, it's working for me. Initially, when I started working around with the broom, people were concerned about, even close family members. Why are you walking around with a broom? It looked funny. But now, even if I leave the broom behind, people, but where's the broom? Last night I was at the airport. I went to receive my wife, who traveled from the States last night. And all around the airport, the broom man. Oh, the broom. And everybody like, we will sweep them 2029. We will sweep them 2029. 2029 power will sweep them, will join you. Those corrupt people will sweep them. Because right now, and I said to people, Liberia is not a trophy for the better role. Today, when seditions accuse people in power, United Party people, that they're stealing the government, the reaction can be, what about you people? And you did the same thing, which in my view is a form of admission. All right? It's a form of admission. They're not denying that stealing is not going on. But they say, what about CDC and your store too? You see? So when the two parties are admitting and saying, oh, the other party is doing more than the other, each of them, CDC will say, United Party doing more than CDC did. And United Party will say, you know, CDC did more than they are doing. Nobody is denying. It means that there is an admission that our money is being stolen. And so Liberia should not be a trophy for the better robe. Liberian people in 2029 should forget about the two competing robes.
Okay. Thank you, Council. Thank you. I don't know whether for sure whether broom is the right instrument to get rid of corruption, because there are certain places that broom can reach. But Council, we want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much. We want to give you the opportunity to give your closing thoughts.
So we Liberian people like this broom will unite, because one broom, I alone, cannot end corruption. One broom cannot sweep. It takes all of these broomsticks together to make a better broom. So I want to lead Liberia for the Liberian people to unite and sweep corruption from the government of Liberia, so we can be like Botswana, Rwanda, and many of the countries that are doing well in Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Council. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good day.
You're welcome.
All right, so guys, that's the Council there. I mean, if you don't mind, we can take a few minutes to kind of do a little analysis of what we just heard from the guests.
Yeah, let Patrick go first because of the time and
right.
Yes, I think it was never disappointing. It was never. I mean, the show today, the councilor's appearance, his responses today to the questions, the engagements we have had with him, I think were all very refreshing, accelerating, and rewarding. And I think we got a big we got it done today. I want to thank you for an excellent moderation and the questions. Everything today. We exhausted almost our talking points. Yeah. And I made everything he said. I think I don't know, but the presidency may be a bridge not too far from him. But the presidency may be a bridge not too far from him. But how he gets there, 2029, if Boakai and we are on a ballot, because no matter what, we are even if he doesn't win, he will always be in the top two positions. And now you have Boakai, or maybe a vice president, or anybody that will be replacing him again. So if you add 6 years to his current age, he'll be 76. He'll be 76. He'll be 76. Okay, 2026. Okay, he'll be 76 in 2033. Okay, so if you add another 6 years, he'll be 82 in 2039. All right, so I don't know if we can make a good chance here. But again, on the overall, I just want to say thanks to Councillor Gongloe for coming on, and thanks to my team members, for also making the show a wonderful one today. We hope to having another guest this coming Thursday. I will endeavor to ensure we have a guest, particularly a female, this time around. And I want to send a reminder out there that tomorrow is meet and greet for the inaugural board, the inaugural program for Woodland Manning and his team members. The Vice President Ophelia Sua, the Secretary General Reverend Garte, and the other elected folks. All right, will be inducted on Saturday. So tomorrow is meet and greet. Saturday is the inaugural ball. For Sunday is the inaugural cookout and every other thing. So please get set and ready to flow. So yes, I'm going to say thanks to all those who took the time to follow us too and stay with us all through this time, and period. We'll be back next Thursday with another edition of the program. My name is Patrick G.M. Kibon. I'm always happy to be here.
Patrick, before you leave the stage, our lawmaker is here. He met with the 185th representative of Pennsylvania, the state of Pennsylvania, Regina. Yeah, so that's a picture right there. It's kind of all over Facebook now. Mr. Noah support us, and they are putting the picture all over the place. I mean, my thing is nothing wrong with it. I think that's a good thing to meet with other legislators. But the lawmakers shouldn't want to see the picture. Let something come from out of it, right? Because a lot of times when the lawmaker leaves on here, he goes on, he carry back or clothes for himself, and nothing for the people. So hopefully we'll not just be taking pictures. Yeah, go ahead, Patrick.
For to share a quick thought on that, it's a good thing to go out there and diplomatically mingle with congressional leaders or maybe state or Congress people. It's a good thing, but the dividend is what matters. So that lady over there is not in her district building youth centers. She's not giving motorbikes to people. She's not buying baby tops. She's not buying used buses. What she does there is she goes on the floor of Congress or maybe the state legislature. She goes there and put for bills, that address the issues that matter most, issues that affect the people. Okay, could be issue of economic austerity, issues, of abortion, issues of healthcare, issues of education, things that generally benefit the people, not things that benefit a few partisans and the other people you see are going to be applied. Hey, when they call you call them back. No, that's not what she does there. The second thing is the last time he was there, I think he met with a mayor, a Brooklyn's Park, or maybe I think yeah, the mayor of Brooklyn's Park. So if you have fast cities in a district, you have Boakai City, you have Wadi City, you have Unification City, you have Tonenta City and other cities in your district. Meeting with Brooklyn's Park's mayor in some 2 years ago. What change has it brought to Boakai City, for instance, or the Kilo City? So these things, people don't understand that politically. They think they mean anything. Well, I mean, the guys want to go there to just show up politically and then come back and say, well, we are connected diplomatically, we are connected internationally, and we can do many things, for our people. Well, I mean, this all fiasco and political show, and I think they should not be given any serious credence.
Perkins, your thought, man, your closing thoughts.
Yes, thank you, Doc. Thank you very much, Patrick. Thank you also to Shirley. I want to say a big thanks to Councillor Gongloe for honoring our invitation to appear on our platform here today. It was a beautiful conversation. Like he said, we both, him from his office and us from our platform, kind of learn from each other, and our listeners, our followers and viewers also learn as well. One of the major things, or the key thing that I got from from the counselor is that one of our major problems is our government always operating outside the confines of the law. So even when the question of constitution was asked, he clearly stated, and I remember Doc and myself had a conversation many weeks ago, and Doc said the same thing that the councilor said. He said, it's not like we don't have beautiful laws on the books that we need to change the entire constitution, but we don't follow the law, and the councilor just emphasized on that this evening. So that is the key thing, he make us to understand that, regardless of what we do in Liberia, we'll make little changes and little improvement here and there in different sectors of the country, right? But when the rule of law is not followed, is not enforced to the T, we will always have problems. Because once the rule of law is not enforced, you cannot hold people accountable for their actions. So there will be actions that will always go with impunity. And in a society where people do things and don't get punished for it, that society will always have chaos. So the rule of law is number one in Liberia. If we want to change anything moving forward, we must make sure our judicial system is strong and is observant, especially by the leaders of the country. And that's what I got from the councilor. Mainly, for the many other questions, even with the Sapo trap or ethnicity issue, it makes us to understand that, we, the Sapo people now are kind of recognized, to have the right to be recognized by the country or by the government, to be a legitimate ethnic group. And I don't think we should even be having that conversation right now. But hey, there's time for everything, right? So the leaders that we have in places now in the legislature, there are our senators and our representatives, we can reach out to them and and push the issue and see what we can do in terms of establishing our own county, because the councilor make it clear that politically this is how it only going to happen politically. So yeah, we should be looking forward to that and establishing that. But overall, it was a unique conversation, and we learned a lot. Welcome to America, honorable. Well, I don't like calling them honorable because I believe, in my opinion, they are not doing anything that is honor so I cannot call them honorable. I'll call him Representative Sonnyboy Noah. Welcome to America. We hope to see you this weekend. We hope to have few minutes of interaction with you as well. Thank you for being here. The fact that you can honor the Sapo Association of America invitation to be here. We hope you use that same energy and listening ears when your people are reaching out to you for a better path of the people of Sinoe County. You know, but it's good to be here. We are looking forward to the weekend to grace the occasion for the Sapo Association inauguration. Thank you.
All right, Perkins. Thank you. So, for just to quickly close out on things that there are a lot of things the councilor talked about, but he talked about road improvement around Sinoe County, but I don't know. He did not state. Because a lot of times you hear road improvement, right? And when you look at it, just like they carry the machine and just clear the place, and that's improvement. So I don't know. I wish you would have been clear to say, it's the paved roads or something like that. But so I think it's improved road in the context of Liberia. You already talked about Sapo County or the people who can lobby for improvement for county status. I think that's something you already said. So I need not belabor that. Yes, and the man said hopefully the people elect him. He getting a lot of invitations, and that is an indication that you will be elected. And Perkins, I don't know, PLO got more invitations than anybody. The people he ran in Kenya, the people that elect him. I guess too that the king, when you are alive, you got more invitation than anybody else. Even though he didn't contest for president, but I'm just saying getting more invitation should not be the barometer or the predictor of what are the people who elect you or not. But that's why he's looking at it, and that's good for him. Perkins, we can do more than that, man. There was a good show, like you already said. One of our chapter presidents, Mr. Saye Gongloe, you see in Liberia, he was honored by the Drazon women. So it's one of the old, longest serving president of the USA. He's the president for the North Carolina chapter, Durham. Basically they call him the king, because nobody, not that he doesn't want to move, but the people just love him, to just stay on and lead them, But so Mr. Saye Gongloe was honored by the Drazon women. Let me make sure I get that information right, so not to give erroneous information. Drazon women in Liberia. That's it. I got the information right. All right, so Perkins, this weekend, man, I would not be there, but I know you guys do a good job. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate your time, and we'll see you again next week, Thursday. Like Papi said, we have a female, but already somebody also reached out to me. I think it's the president of the Sinoe County Community College. He also wants to come to be our guest, So let's see. We are getting somewhere, man. People are interested in the show. I think the young man I was here for maybe the county steering committee, the superintendent has been reaching out, a superintendent of Sinoe County, to bring the committee back, or the guys, or the coin Jaffa, I think, to come back to make a report and all of that. So our show is getting there. Let's continue to do what we are doing, man. We appreciate our viewers as well. Please share the show, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page. Perkins, I wish you speedy recovery, man. Your voice is better, but keep drinking more water. And overdose yourself for the weekend.
I will do that. I'll do that with Sapo people. Enough for Sapo people to be here.
All right.
I didn't know you were not going to be here, my man.
I try, man. I try, but when you're on the capitalist farm, man, they got to give you time. And I already took some time. So I took a couple, because annually I got 4 weeks, to my credit, but then the other week they couldn't give me the 5th week, because I already secured all of vacation time already before the USA stuff came in. So they said, we can give you an additional week because you are now the CEO for the company, for the department. All right, yeah, but Perkins, that's how we're doing it for the day, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going home with Fred, Debbie, Tyler, man.
Voilà,